Dr. Cindy Dominique Sakpase.
Oye, mapule.
You are so pristine. I hope that's the right word that I'm using. I've known you for so long, since college. Your personality hasn't changed, but your career has matriculated to a whole nother level. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. And it's only by God's good grace that I could say that I'm here, and I've been blessed in so many ways. Yeah. And yeah, I'm happy.
You know, Virginia State folks have this, not only just a family thing about them, but they're hustlers, and they know how to get it, and they know how to get it well, and they know how to represent in the community.
Absolutely.
So with that being said, please share your story. For people that don't know, share your story with the world, who you are and what you do.
Okay. Well, as Don said, I'm Dr. Cindy Dominique, and I'm from New York. Originally, I attended Virginia State University for my bachelor's and my master's, and then I went on to earn my doctorate in clinical psychology. Mm-hmm. The world that we live in is ever changing, and people need help. Mm-hmm. And I think I always like to use myself as a selling board, I guess that's the word, or marketing board, mm-hmm. because I've been to therapy, and I think so many people need to get mental health services, and they forget. They tend to focus on the physical and not the mental. Mm-hmm. But if your mental's not right, your physical's not right. And if your mm-hmm. physical's not right, your mental's not right.
That's right.
And I'm just proof in the pudding that you have to work on the inside and outside, because I went to therapy at a very difficult time in my life, and it helped me tremendously. And I encourage people to get the help that they need. And, you know, even as Haitians, mm-hmm. therapy is something that white people do. We don't do that.
Yeah, Haitians, no, they're not co-signing that.
No. And when I went to therapy back in the late 90s, my family was looking at me, well, why do you need to go to therapy? Why do you need to share the personal family items or things that's happening?
Yeah, but just drink some Rue Muscat, you'll be okay.
Exactly. And luck is for everything.
Yeah.
But, by the grace of God, I was able to go to therapy and get the help that I need and move forward and move through mm-hmm. the difficult times. And I always go back, you know, every now and then you need a booster shot.
Right.
But it's so important to take care of your mental health. And I think a lot of times people forget about that. Culturally, Blacks, culturally, Haitians or West Indians, mm-hmm. we don't look at that as something that we need to do.
Right. And we've seen, and I've seen, not saying we've seen, but I've seen a lot more of us, our faces, which is a great representation for the community to make them feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. And I've heard that over and over again, that, you know, when you were growing up, going to therapy or seeing a psychologist or going to a clinic, it was just kind of like taboo. Like, what? Absolutely. You crazy? Something's wrong with you.
What do you do?
I'm hearing more and more that people are understanding that that is a norm. And it is good to talk, and it is good to bounce things off with people, because you never know where your psyche is, right?
Absolutely. And it's available and it's affordable now. Yeah. You know, given the current world that we live in with this pandemic, you know, I've been doing teletherapy, which is through Zoom or Doxy, and that's been a great resource for a lot of people, because people live far and wide, and they might be traveling for work, and they may not be there physically to actually go see a therapist. But with this, you could see the therapist wherever, whenever.
Exactly. Talk about the target audience. Like, you know, is there a target audience? Is there an age, gender group? Like, is there a target audience that you work with?
The target audience is everybody, from little kids to older adults or geriatric populations. Everybody needs help, and we're social beings.
Yeah.
And it's important to have a network of support, you know, not just family, but you have extended family. You have your support systems, like the people at work, if that's for you, or your sorority or your fraternity, like we're both in, you're Omega and I'm an AKA. It's important to have those networks to support you in your time of need. Yeah. And therapy is just another network for people.
Yeah. And listen, you talking about being a doctor and you having your own business now didn't just come out of your butt. Talk to us about the history, you know, and your background, you know, kind of explain to everyone what's the background, how long you've been doing this, because it's not around the corner.
Negative. It's not around the corner. At 14, I knew I wanted to be a psychologist because there were people around me, and I was going through a really difficult time as an adolescent. And then I went to see my guidance counselor.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I decided to say, I think I want to be a psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
And I applied to BSU, got in, thank goodness. And my major was psychology. And then I decided to stay.
Yeah.
I knew that the terminal goal was to get my doctorate.
Right.
And I wouldn't be satisfied without getting that title and working towards it.
Yeah.
It took me 13 years total.
Yeah.
Yeah, 13 years of
Right.
school and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. It took an emotional toll.
Mm-hmm.
Writing 20-page papers the night before is not the best thing, but it helped me to become stronger. And like you said, when you first started, it's about resilience.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not to say that you won't struggle, but it's how you handle the adversity that comes your way.
Right. And plus by you having this exceptional background in history, having Dr. Haitians co-sign you like this. You walk up in the family reunion, it was like, yes. my niece is here, the doctor. They just say doctor. They want people to assume that you're a surgeon. You know what I'm saying?
And then they ask, what type of doctor? And you're like, oh, I'm just a psychologist.
You talk to people. So look, no, I'm so happy for you. So the business.
Yes.
Formally launched in April.
Yes. April 1st was the start date.
Yeah. I
had been planning, and another colleague or classmate of ours, Jermaine Williamson, and that's a plug for him, okay? He actually,
he's sharp.
He's really, really sharp.
Yeah, sharp brother.
Him. Yes, love him to death. And actually in December, he and I went out to dinner because I needed some guidance, and he has his own consulting firm, and it was important to reach out and get his input. And he gave me a deadline, a time frame. He said, Cindy, you're going to have until September 2020 to build this up and get it started. I'm like, okay, I have no choice. Now the pressure is on. And I actually completed it before the end date. And I started April 1st.
Yeah. And, like you said, shameless plug, but like real talk, not just because we went to school, but that brother is smart, sharp, and will get you straight.
And he just published his first book.
I know. Saw that online. Those are plugs for you,
yes.
JLW Consulting. So do you have your website up that you can share?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So Cindy.
Yes.
Business launched April 1. Let's continue to talk about that a little bit, but then I want to share screen the website. Let me go here real quick. Let's check out your website. Can you see this?
No.
You can't see it?
Now I see it. Oh. Now I see it.
I'm like, come on now.
Yes.
So this is the new website.
This is the website, Life Change Psychological Services.
Beautiful, beautiful. And is there anywhere in here that potential clients should go to as they're surfing in here?
If they want to contact me, just fill out the information and I'll get the email directly. Also, if an individual wants to contact me, they could also find me on Psychology Today.
Got it. And these are the forms right here where they would need to fill out for intake.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Yes. This is beautiful. And then you also have your availability in here. So
absolutely,
your hours could be nice. And then these are all the services.
Yeah, those are the different types of topics and gives people more information about the topics.
Right.
But that's just a little bit of the things that I do, I guess.
Right, yeah.
A little bit.
And I think people that are looking for you and kind of trying to figure out, this is where they contact, trying to figure out what they need.
Yes.
The foremost thing is being able to look, see that you provide a service that they need, and then they can reach out.
Absolutely. And if they don't see the services identified there, then they could contact me and I could do a free 15-minute screening to see if it would be a good fit between the both of us.
Beautiful. I'm so happy for you. Like I said, I remember us having this conversation about this launching, and then finally you were able to launch it. Yeah. So that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I've been working hard.
Yeah. So look, we're in a pandemic.
Yes, sir.
A lot of things have changed for so many different people. How has business shifted for you?
Well, given that I had just started on April 1st and the pandemic had already begun, I couldn't open my doors per se where people would come to my office and sit and have the formal type of therapy service. So everything has been telephonic or via video. And it's helpful because I have people that I'm currently seeing who are in Maryland, Eastern Shore. Some people are in the military who are in Korea, and we've been working it out that way. And it's really been helpful because people they're able to see me, and still get the help that they need without necessarily driving or getting stuck in traffic and rushing and missing appointments. So that's a good thing because people have been keeping their appointments, and in the sense that they're like, I need help. I need help.
Yeah, well, they don't have the choice to now. And anxiety, how are people dealing with, I mean, there's several different things happening, and not to go so deep into them. You know, you have people that are feeling conflicted at home, and you have people being released. You have people that are in situations where marital situations may be going on at home. You have people that have temper issues. I mean, it's so many things that are happening.
So many.
How are you able to help them cope with these new ways that are
and it
happening?
depends on the individual and what they're bringing to the table. And for the most part, I've been seeing a lot of couples, and how do they navigate being on top of each other for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and there's no outlet. You know, normally people could go out with their friends or go shopping or do something in order to get away and, you know, relax, even go to the park. But some of those things have been removed from us, and it's how do you necessarily deal with the person day in, day out? And it just depends on the circumstances and the situations. And we all have internal resources. Some people have more resources, and some people have more adaptive resources than others. And a maladaptive resource is people still using substances or drinking a lot more given the current situation. And, you know, the liquor stores in Maryland are still open, and it's big business. And unfortunately, some people have been handling it inappropriately by drinking a lot more.
And it's funny that you said that, because I've been on calls or I've been watching Zooms, and like you see people with glasses of wine. Now, two things that we're doing, and nothing's wrong with drinking wine. I drink wine, but like when I was in school, and even now as an adult, I don't drink till Friday unless I'm out at an event during the week, and you know, I want to. And I've kept the same thing. Like when the week is going on, like today, I can't wait to have a glass of wine because it's Friday. During the week, I got work to do, and that may be a preference or choice for other people, and it's in it. But additionally, what we've been able to do is we have meditation every other night. We do family meditation.
I think that's a wonderful thing because it grounds you, and it's still quality time and family time, but you guys are all together and engaging in this activity together, and that's a beautiful thing. And with that, you're containing your family unit and providing support to each other.
Every morning we wake up to raise our vibrations, and when they know it's meditation night, they're like, Dad says it's time to meditate. And, you know, by the time everyone's down, even the grown man, the 21-year-old, the state cat, you know, but everybody comes down, Erica turns on the music, and then we get going.
It's a good way to ease some of the stuff that's happening all around us.
It is.
And like, I don't watch the news. It's too much negativity. I might listen to NPR and the BBC every now and then, but you have to set boundaries with yourself with what you're watching and what you're doing, because then if you don't, then you take on other people's things. And then it could really exacerbate the anxiety or the experiences that you currently have. And what I do, I watch a lot of comedy on Netflix, you know, whatever can make me laugh. Yes.
You don't need much to make you laugh.
Well, that's why I'm really 77 years old. And because I laugh so much, I look like this.
And part vampire.
Yes, exactly.
But you know what? No, you're so right. I mean, before we continue, my son is in school for sports management, health, nutrition. So he's like a workout nut. So, and I do CrossFit. So like the house, we're switching off who's going to be at where. And then we do a family workout on Saturday. Dylan doesn't like it, but everybody gets down there and we work out. So whatever works for people, whatever works for families, they should do.
use it and do it. And that's an adaptive mechanism that works for your particular family. And again, everybody has different things that they like to do. Some people play board games, some people play Monopoly, some people have dance-offs, which is a great thing, and you pump the music, and you're getting the endorphins going through your body, and it makes you feel good.
That's true. That's true. Talk about health disparities and mental health. You know, those are key areas that you aid with. So talk about that.
And as I noted, you know, as a Haitian American, going to a therapist or a psychologist was not looked upon favorably. But being a Black woman in this country, it's everyday trauma.
That's right.
Just walking down the street, there's trauma. And especially if you grew up in the inner city, you know, people minimize the fact that if you hear a gunshot, that's something traumatic. If you see a fire, that's something traumatic. If you see somebody get hit by a car, that's traumatic. There are so many different instances or experiences that we bear on our shoulders as people of color in this country, and every single day, but you have to let it out.
That's right.
And if you keep it all inside, then it tends to manifest in a physical way. And, you know, we think about African Americans and diabetes with having high elevated rates of diabetes and all these other issues. But a lot of it too is psychological, and then it manifests in a physical form. For example, I have eczema, and eczema is associated with hay fever, asthma, and allergies, but it's also associated with stress. And when I would get stressed, I would have breakouts all over my body. And then I recognized the connection. And then when I started going to therapy and really working on my mental health, the symptoms dissipated. And I don't have flare-ups as much as I used to. When I was in college, there was flare-ups all over the place. My face looked like a patchwork quilt, which is not cute. But I was going through a lot. But now I'm able to handle it appropriately. I use the resources. I use my support groups. And that's why I'm saying, if your physical's not right, your mental's not right. And if your mental's not right, your physical's not right. And Haitians, you know, we always say tête de mal, or I have a backache. All those are somatic symptoms. And a lot of times they come from a psychological situation.
Right. Do you perceive, and this is not a good thing, nor is it a bad thing, I got to look at it in between. Do you perceive, because of what is currently going on with the pandemic, that business will soar or rise because people are looking for those services because they're going to need that attention now?
I think it's going to rise. And I think that's actually a good thing. Because, and it's not to say that I'm going to get paid. Yes, that's a good thing, because I have a business and I have to pay my bills. But at the same token, if people are becoming healthier, more well-rounded in their medical, emotional, and physical health, it's a win-win.
Yeah, my brother and I talk about this all the time. I'm real close to my brothers, and every night we get on a call, and either I agree with them or don't agree, but we get on a call. And one of my oldest brother talks about it all the time, is that, you know, he's been, you know, concerned that he's like, you know, just kind of watching his neighborhood and people in the area, that those type of either disorders or mental illness that will, you know, they're taking different shapes and forms, and that it will rise, and it's going to change. Because we recently had a younger cousin of ours pass away. She had some pre-existing conditions, and none of us could go to the funeral. So we're talking about just our family, not only any other families that can't travel, can't be near each other, can't hug each other, comfort or cope. So, you know, how will families deal with this post happening? Because so many people have been lost.
So many people have been lost. And again, like you said, not being able to attend the funeral or see the family that you're used to seeing in times like this, and using them as a source of support, it makes it really difficult, because touch is one of the five senses, and people really, really need it. And we're social beings. And when that's somewhat removed, then who are we? What are we doing? You know, how do I connect still? If I can't reach out and touch you, and how can I connect? And that's troubling for a lot of people, because then not only did they lose a loved one, you have grief from that perspective, but you also have to deal with the grief of not being able to see your loved one and loved ones.
Yeah.
Like, you can't say your last goodbyes to your loved one.
Okay. No, that's something that you're going to be talking about a lot.
Yes, that's a lot of weight.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So tell me, how can you assist clients now, new clients? And so how are you assisting your current clients, but how can you assist new clients that would be coming to you?
Well, by the mere fact that I'm available is letting people know that I am a resource, because I have been to therapy. I am a therapist. I'm a professional, and that the doors are open, and you don't have to be scared to reach out and ask someone for help. There are a lot of resources around, and we have access to the internet. Everybody has Google or on their phones or on their computers. There's always ways to ask for help, and just knowing that people love you is the first step. For
sure. Yep. How are you staying relevant? How are people finding out that you're available to be able to assist them?
Marketing with storytellers. Marketing with storytellers.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Good plug. Life Change Psychological Services, lifechangepsychservices.com.
Yep.
But just letting people know I'm available, talking to my sorority sisters, my cousins, and I have friends and family all over this country and in different countries, and letting them know I am a resource if necessary. Open the door. I'm a phone call away. Yeah.
Well, I got. So before we get off the call, I do have some advice. I'm gonna shoot something your way, because storytellers is about inspiring, educating, and empowering. That's what we're about, and that's what the network is about, and that's why we're the opportunity to talk to you and for you to be able to tell your services is also important too. But at the same time, we also try to throw a little bonus plug in there and give you some information that you can that'll help you with marketing. So we'll talk about that in a second.
So let me just get this right. You said inspiring, empowering, and educating.
Inspire, educate, and empower. You got it right. But I remember it that way because that's how my marketing person told me.
I love it.
Yeah, and it's on our site. It's on our page, our YouTube page, for people to really know what we represent. What are plans for after COVID-19? What is it supposed to look like? What will you do differently? Business-wise. Yep.
Well, given that I've been seeing clients via teletherapy, I think it affords me the opportunity to, wherever I go, if I'm traveling overseas or if I'm traveling for my full-time job, it allows people to know that I'm always available. And that's really, really important that people know, even when it's 1 o'clock in the morning, this vampire of a psychologist is still up and will answer your call. Yeah, you do respond to late texts. We were trying to plan this call. I was like, he's still awake. Listen, so tips, advice, inspiring words. What can you share? Oh, that's a good question. It's loaded. It's a loaded one. It is. But having the courage to keep moving and never stop. And I know initially you said hustle. We're hustlers. But it's more than that. You are a force and you keep moving and you never stay still. And it's about being resilient overall. Because life has a way of breaking you down. But the fact is that you will not stop and you just keep moving. As long as you're moving, that shows inspiration, education, and empowerment. Yeah. One thing that thank you so much for sharing that. One thing that I learned about you, every time we talk, one of the key things and this is not even surprising because you're a doctor, you listen very well. I'm sorry? You listen very well. And you never jump in or jump over people. You actually let me finish my entire ramble and then respond. Well, that's not what my sisters say. My sisters don't say that. They're like, Cindy, how are you even a psychologist? Family's different. We treat each other differently, right? How can people find you? Where can they locate you? Are you on LinkedIn, social media? Of course, we just showed the website. How can people find you? I am on Facebook, Life Change Psych Services, Psychological Services. I am on LinkedIn, Dr. Psy.D Dominique. As you know, my website, www.lifechangepsychservices.com. And I'm on Psychology Today, Dr. Psy.D Dominique. You can always find me.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
Words of marketing advice from SCTV. So recently I did a coaching call with my cousin that we've been providing help to her business for the longest. She's a psychologist as well.
Oh, wow.
And, so we were just talking about recently opened her new office, and her thing was her connection with a lot of her current clients. So I listened well too, because I was a psych major for a year. But I don't listen well with my family. So we came up with, we produced, and I don't know, maybe you might be the second client. We came up and we produced our first motivation video for her firm. It's designed by her, produced by her, executive produced, and we just released it. Motivation video from her office, her base. You know how you go on YouTube and you put in motivation, all these videos come up. If you put in her name, motivation, her video comes up. Really inspiring. It's words from her book, words from her own quotes, and it turned out pretty well. So once we get off this call, I'll share it with you so you can check it out.
Thank you so much, Don.
Of course. Look, it was a pleasure.
Likewise. I love you, my friend.
I love you too. Nothing has changed. I think if anyone is looking for not just amazing, but direct, very knowledgeable, and someone that'll listen to them and really provide the greatest therapeutic, is that the correct term?
Absolutely.
Advice, they have to reach out to you. And
I hope they do.
And I hope they reach out to you too. And again, like I said, it's a good thing and it's not a bad thing if you need the help and if you need someone to listen and talk to get through it.
And I'm proof.
Doctor.
Because I sat on the other side.
That's right.
So.
And that's so key. And I'm happy that you said that, because a lot of people look at their experiences. Their experiences become who they are, and then you can provide better service.
Absolutely. Thank you for this opportunity, Don.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming on SCTV, and I can't wait to share your information with the world.
Thank you. Have a great one.